Do you know when you were on this first time you were on the Tonight Show?
It was a long time ago.
It was July, I found out, of 1969.
I don't think either one of us should admit to that.
Yeah, July 69. Do you remember it at all?
I remember it a little bit, yeah.
Do you remember what you sang, even? I don't remember what you sang.
I think I remember I wore a striped dress.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can remember.
Why has it been 14 years? Did we do something wrong? Did we do a thing called Believe It or Stuff It at all?
No, we're a little afraid of television because of the music. And I understand your sound guys were here until all hours last night trying to make that so that it would accommodate rock and roll over there a little bit more realistically.
It is a problem.
To us, it sounds incredible. I mean, we sounded like little ants playing tiny little, through little ant amplifiers on little ant guitars, you know.
Right.
It was very small sounding.
Yeah, because the setup that you travel with is tremendous, right?
It's very large,
to set it up in a TV studio is difficult, maybe?
Well, it's hard to duplicate the sound. Rock and roll is based on amplified sound, and it's got to be real big to distort and hurt your ears, you know.
Right. It has to hurt to be good, right?
It's supposed to intimidate you. Yeah. I don't know. I can't. Music is so strange. I don't understand it anymore, I must confess.
Where do you think the music is going? Do you like what you hear nowadays?
I like it now. This week I like it. I was really worried because music is such an...
Last Wednesday was a lousy day for music. Yeah.
But music is such an immediate reflection of what the culture is, except for that it's about 15 years ahead, I think.
Right.
And so that when I don't hear anything going on in the music, it usually means, it's silly to reduce it to this, but it usually means there's nothing going on in the economy.
Yeah.
You know, because the whole idea of, I think that pop music, the way that we know it right now, is born from the economy anyway. The whole idea of something lasting for 6 weeks, you know, and then you don't want it anymore. It's sort of like the way they do with cars, you know, they last for 3 years and
it gets faddish at times. Do you ever get tired of singing a particular number that you've had, like you had, was it Bayou was a big gold record for you? I know Sinatra says if he has to sing My Way one more time, or even New York, New York, he's going to go crazy.
Oh, I like him when he sings New York, New York.
Yeah.
I must confess, I went to see him in a concert because I'm a very big fan, because I'm doing this album of standards right now, and I studied his singing extensively, and I also took his arranger, Nelson Riddle, because I feel that he's the very best kind of orchestra arranger for that kind of music. And I went to see Frank Sinatra, and I was so disappointed when he didn't do some of my favorites. And I know because I want to sing something brand new all the time, you know.
Right. But your fans who come want to hear very often.
I even get tired of the music from this century. You know, I like to have some music from another century immediately, you know.
Well, you're doing Pirates of Penzance. The critics, everybody loved the picture, and you sang Gilbert and Sullivan. Now, was that your idea?
Well,
to sing something in a Victorian
I was reading
era?
a book about, by this woman, Colette, you know, that French writer. It's a book called The Vagabond, and it was about this girl who was a music hall performer, and she went all over the world, and she had this dog and this boyfriend, and she did all this. She did art. She was an artiste. And I thought, well, that's sort of like me. You know, she had the same kinds of problems that any itinerant performer has. And so I got this idea that I wanted to sing in a beautiful little theater that was, I love architecture. I wanted something with good architecture instead of a boxing arena. And so, because it's not very inspiring, you know.
Or a gymnasium or
you
something,
make a statement, it sounds like you're calling out the scores, you know, if you say anything. I haven't talked on stage for years because I feel like a sports announcer, you know.
Right.
So at any rate, back to Colette. So I wanted to do something Victorian, or something from the Weimar Republic, you know, Germany before the war, because the makeup styles are very similar to the way they are now, which is also disturbing for other reasons. But at any rate, it has to do with the economy also, I think. But so I went to Joe Papp, and I told him all this stuff, but a more elaborate detail. And I don't think he even remembered it. But then John Rockwell was on television one day talking about me. He was the one that introduced me to Joe Papp. And the director of Pirates saw me and decided that I would be good in Pirates, and went back to Joe and said, you know, we should get this girl. And he said, oh, she's already been here. She's a snap. And I was. They called me up on the phone, and I said yes over the phone, you know. So that's how hard I am to talk into things, I guess. But it was Victorian, and I wanted to do it. But they put us in this theater that was horrible. Well, from the Colette book, I wanted to do something.
Oh, I just forgot where I was, yeah.
They put us in the Eurus Theater, which is this huge theater. It was built in the 50s, and it just ruined everything. But it was the biggest theater they had, so. But it didn't have any angels on the ceiling, you know, or any nice molding. It's important.
Nice moldings are important in a building.
It is. It also reflects the culture.
I think that was the problem with this bit when we did it earlier, was that the architecture of the building
It's a little weird.
allowed the sound to reach the audience. That was the problem. We should have... You said you are an itinerant performer. You travel all the time. And a lot of articles have been written about you and any relationships you have with anybody. Doesn't that make it kind of...
Have I ever had one with you yet in the papers? Let's see.
No, but you want to take a shot at it? It's a slow week for me. Why not?
I've been out with people I've never met.
Is that true?
Oh, of course. Oh, God, somebody told me about some Dodger.
Who'd they have? They had you out with a baseball player you'd never met?
Never met him, and can't even remember his name, but I mean, I got him in trouble with his wife and everything, because, we were in the papers.
And had never met him?
Yeah, and not Baryshnikov, some ballet dancer, too, some ballet dancer.
Good enough?
No, older than that. Don't say now.
Ronald Reagan's son? He's a ballet dancer.
I don't remember.
How about the people you have been out with? Do you mind it when they dog you all over the place?
I mind, yeah, but it's hard. I realize that it's part of the job,
Yeah.
but I don't like it. I don't think anybody would. It's hard to be spontaneous, after after they make things up about you. It makes the guy feel weird and makes me feel
This
weird.
probably sounds like a fan magazine question. Well, what kind of gentleman do you prefer? Well, I mean,
Oh, I don't know, smart and honest, I suppose, just for starters. Is this possible?
yeah.
I'm a sucker for musicians, I have to say. I just love music, so I know. I've already looked over there. I've been looking.
Any honest musicians over there? I just wonder. I know it's a silly question, but it's a very certain guy. I suppose, being in the business, musicians are fun to be with, right?
I don't know, but music has ruled me ever since I was little.
Yeah.
My father was a good singer. Maybe that has something to do with it. He always loved music. There was always music in the house.
Right.
It's what I remember from the very earliest. It was something that was very completely incorporated into what we did. It was never a job. It was something we did when we washed the dishes. We sang at the dinner table,
Right. What would you ever consider what you might do if you didn't sing? What you might like to do?
I'd have to milk cows or sell hot dogs on the street. I don't know how to do anything else, I would like, when I think about singing, getting tired of stuff,
You have great eyes, you know that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gee,
She does.
it's nice to get a compliment. It always makes me feel good.
Yeah, but you do. You have sensational eyes.
Well, if you want to talk, you have to stop saying things like that, because you make me nervous. I forgot what I was going to say. You can ask me another question if you want.
Stop just looking.
Or give me another compliment. I won't mind.
You have nice legs,
Nice
too.
legs.
We'll do a commercial. We'll be back for the next compliment. Good.